Welcome to Grant's Rock Warehouse, and tonight I want to welcome the band April 16th. We've got Dave Russell on vocals, Chris Harris on guitar, John Fisher on drums. They're here for an interview and discussion. We keep it loose here in the warehouse, and this is very loose. And I'm leaving the whole thing in. I'm not editing anything because we just start talking music right out of the gate. So I'm just going to leave it. It's entertaining. The only one thing I do want to mention is that Ozzy Osbourne, we got word that Ozzy passed away during the interview. So it kind of, well, the momentum kind of ceased for a bit. I'm going to leave that in. I'm leaving it all in. Enjoy. These guys are great. Please do me a favor. Go check out their album. Go check out Dave Russell's book, The Ghosts of April. Links are down below. Really good stuff, and they're not that well known here in the States. All right, but this is a great hard rock band, 1980s. All right, here's the interview and discussion with the band, April 16th.
Grant's Rock Warehouse, now with the look and feel of hand-tooled leather.
Van Halen opened for Black Sabbath. And I also saw Sammy Hagar with a band called Montrose, who you've probably heard of.
Great
and then it
band,
was supporting a British band called Status Quo at Wembley Arena. And that would have been around 75, maybe a bit before, 74. Because obviously Montrose made the first album and then Paper Money, and then Hagar left, didn't he? And so, yeah, I mean, so seeing those old...
Yeah, these are all promo posters.
Yeah, brilliant. Yeah, I love the old stuff. I still listen to it a lot. I really do. It's part of my journey, man. As you said in the book, I mean, I saw Led Zeppelin, I was cool, and that was it. I was just, live music is everything now. I travel quite a lot to see bands still.
I wish it was like it was in the old days, but it's not quite the same.
No, when you used to get two shit hot bands on the same bill, it was happy days.
But that show, was it 79? Because my first concert was Foreigner Double Vision Tour, and my folks took me and a buddy, so that was 78. So this was 79.
Yeah.
But just starting out playing guitar then when you're a kid, you guys know, I'm glad we're recording this, but you guys know how it is when you were like kids. You first heard whatever, name your band. Hey, look. Name your band, and it's all shiny and new. Because my whole story was when I was 10. This isn't about me, but I have to tell you this story.
Okay.
When I was at a friend's house, I was one of those kids that always bought a lot of records, 45s, kids records. I was at a friend's house and I was flipping through their records, and I'd never looked in them before. There were two picture sleeves in there. One was the Beatles, She Loves You. And one was the Beatles, I Want You to Hold Your Hand. So this is like 1975. I'm like 10. Yeah. I look at it. I'd never seen anything before. My folks grew up in the era of Benny Goodman. They liked Benny Goodman. They'd watch Lawrence Welk. We'd never played anything like the Beatles. I'd never even heard of the Beatles. So wow. I was flipping through the 45s. I saw the picture sleeves, and I'm looking at these guys going, wow, look at these guys. Because it looked like something I'd never seen. And we're talking, they've already been broken up for 5 years.
Yeah.
But I never saw that. And I said, I was just captivated by the way these guys looked. I didn't know who they were. And I asked my neighbor, can I borrow these and take these home? So I took them home and played it. And it was like, this is the first thing I was ever exposed to is the Beatles. I felt like the freaking sky parted, like... Everything changed from black and white into color because I had never heard anything like it. And I begged my parents after that. I said, can you give me, I have to get this. I have to find records by this band. I remember riding my bike downtown to the store to like Kresge's. Hopefully they'd have something. And my first Beatle record I bought was the double record set 62 to 66.
Yeah.
And I put it on my bike and I rode my bike home. And but there's nothing like it when you first hear the whole music thing.
Oh,
and you hear a band that opens up your whole world.
Yeah.
I miss that because I never get that feeling anymore. Not like it is when you're in your teens or when you're a kid.
It's very moving, isn't it?
Nothing
It's
else is
interesting.
like
I mean,
that.
I still get goosebumps when I'm listening to some music. I still get goosebumps.
I was in the car yesterday and Sirius XM was playing and they have a Beatles channel and my God, they were playing Beatles Drive My Car. God darn.
Yeah.
I listened to the whole damn Beatles channel because I cannot not. I still love it.
Yeah. It's superb, yeah.
John, how are you? Sorry, we were just
Yeah,
shooting the
so
shit.
I'm the drummer. I'm the drummer, and as you know, drummers can never keep time.
That's what Dave said. You have trouble keeping time.
So my apologies, gentlemen, but lovely to see you all.
You
I'm
too,
glad
Jim.
you're here.
Yeah.
You too,
So
buddy.
welcome to London.
Exactly. But anyway, so the whole Beatles thing was my first, and I've been hooked ever since. And the Beatles still are number one with me.
Yeah, they're brilliant. They're brilliant. I mean, Chris and I are about the same age, about sort of 42, and so we grew up.
Yeah.
We were lucky enough to grow up in the 60s when you went from you were going just coming out of the rock and roll like Chuck Berry and Elvis into the early 60s with the Beatles. Then you had the Kinks and the Stones. You had Motown. You had Pink Floyd mixing it up with the psychedelia in the mid 60s. Hendrix came along. That sort of mid 60s to the mid 70s was a whole melting pot of fantastic music. And
it certainly was. Yeah.
I still like listening to Motown. I think you take music. Once music's got you hooked, man, you're a prisoner for life. You can't escape.
I think so. Even things like the Beach Boys, totally not metal, but I love the Beach Boys.
Well, a lot of this stuff, we can listen to this stuff. Like some people, you can tell when something's really good. If you're looking at music, you should be able to go outside of whatever preferences you have in your mind. You should be able to look at something and go, my God, this is damn good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I heard this, thanks to Chris, I thought, this is damn good.
It's wonderful.
So hence you're here. We're going to talk about it.
Bless you.
Well, anyway, all right. I haven't even done an intro, but I think I'm going to leave all that up front because it's just, ladies and gentlemen, this is the band April 16th. Well, 3 members of the band. I'm all excited. This is going to be one of those conversations. I haven't planned anything. I'm just giddy like a schoolgirl because these guys are so great. And everybody, in Grant's Rock Warehouse, we always try to promote those bands that a lot of people don't know about. And I'm guaranteeing you probably don't know a lot about April 16th. But we've got 3 of the members here. We've got Dave Russell, vocals, who has also recently put out a book a couple of years ago, right, Dave? I'd say, what was it, 2023, 2024?
I think it was published in about sort of February 2023 time. So yeah, a couple of years now. Yeah, that's right.
And we've got Chris Harris, who reached out to me. We wouldn't have had this happen if it wasn't for Chris. Thank you, Chris, for reaching out because you guys are exactly what I want on my show. And we've got John Fisher, the drummer of the band. John had trouble connecting, but he is here. And we're ready, ladies and gentlemen.
We're ready to go.
We're ready to go. So April 16th, there's been a lot going on. I mean, Dave, his book, The Ghost of April, we've just talked about, published a couple years ago or a year ago, roughly. I'm not a real good judge of time, gentlemen. And then this, which I do, Chris, did you have something to do with putting this together, this comp of, or how did this come about?
Well, it's not. I don't like to think of it as a compilation.
Well, isn't it like the EP and the record?
Like the. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
Yes, it's not.
It's the Cherry Jam demo, correct?
Yeah.
And it's Sleepwalking, so it's kind of like I guess it's like a twofer.
It's really all the tracks we ever recorded in the studio, and we wanted it on one format as a record, on CD format, preferably. So it's been on the back burner for many years, and Lawrence and I, the lead guitarist, thought it'd be a good idea ages ago, but until recently, it's been held back, I suppose, mainly through funds, but eventually we got around to doing it, so took it up to a studio.
I think it's good because me doing some research on this, it's gotten a lot of good reviews in the past. It's like one of those little known records that people don't know about that is like on another level, and it's very well thought of. So the fact that it's out again, I know it's been out for a while, but a lot of my viewers haven't heard it.
Well,
probably don't know about it, huh?
This is the thing, actually. We've sorry to interrupt. Many big bands, in fact, even radio stations, if they say, "Give me your stuff," not more than 2 months before release or after release. Mm-hmm. But that sort of time period doesn't only affects major bands. We release stuff and it's on a kind of simmer release. It's going to be simmering, and it takes ages to get it around the world without major label support. So it's not to say it's old. Gosh, it is old, and it's still plenty of people.
Well, you know what I mean, though.
I know.
You know what I mean.
Yeah.
Guys, can I just interrupt you briefly?
Yeah.
I just had something come up on my Facebook feed that Ozzy's died.
No, you get out of it.
What?
Oh, no, it's terrible news.
Are you?
It's not fake news. It's not fake news.
Wow, timing's everything. Really? I believe you, but now I'm going to have to look.
God.
That is very, very bad news. Yeah, because we've all grown up with Ozzy, haven't we?
Well, what? He was just on stage. That seems odd.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah. Well, maybe.
I'm sure we've all seen Ozzy. I saw Ozzy with...
Ozzy dies just weeks after Farewell Show. It's on Sky News.
Oh, that's terrible.
Ozzy has... Oh, my God.
Yeah.
That's terrible news.
Yeah.
Wow, this will make... I don't even know what to say, gentlemen.
No.
Yeah, it's put the dampers on things, isn't it? Because we've all grown up with Ozzy. Ozzy is a top-notch.
We were just talking about... I saw Van Halen supporting Black Sabbath at Hammersmith Odeon. We were just talking about Black Sabbath.
Yeah, but because of their farewell tour, or their farewell show.
Oh my God!
I really enjoyed it.
I really don't know what to say.
Are we okay to carry on?
Oh yeah, we can carry on. But wow, rest in peace, Ozzy. I mean,
it's one of those John Lennon moments almost.
It is, but you would never, we just had the event.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Well, oh my God. I wonder what it was. I wonder if there was the Parkinson's or.
Yeah, I would have thought so. Yeah.
He didn't look very
good up on stage. I know this is a strange thing to say and the timing's all off, but when I first was introduced to music, funny thing about this is my best friends were Vicar's children. And they played Black Sabbath music. and that's how I became, involved with Black Sabbath. That's how I, started to learn about music.
Yeah.
Through Vicar's children. How about that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just weird. I remember seeing Ozzy. I saw Ozzy twice in '86. Here we are talking about concerts again. I saw Ozzy twice in '86. Once Queensryche opened for him, and then the second time it was on Metallica opened up for him. Is that right? Yes, Metallica opened up in '86, but the first show was at a small venue, just a ballroom. You keep thinking that Ozzy was like always really big in stadiums all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
'86, he was playing like ballrooms and stuff.
Incredible.
It wasn't all that. It's just weird.
Well, they were the same in the UK. I mean, when Sabbath were touring in their pomp in the kind of mid to late 70s, I guess, Volume 4, Sabotage, Technical Excess. Well, no, but that was a bit later on. I mean, they were still only playing modest venue or Hammersmith Odeon, Lewisham Odeon, the kind of 2,000 seater type place. Whereas Led Zeppelin were playing all the big festivals, and especially in America. Sabbath were kind of, it's only really been in later years that people have recognised the importance of Sabbath and the influence that they've had on so many bands.
Yeah. Well, rest in peace, Ozzy.
Yeah.
I've got to tell you this funny story because it links in with Ozzy Osbourne as well. I was in a venue in London watching a band called Uriah Heep.
Yep.
And when they'd finished, I went to the pub next door, and they also went to the pub next door after their show. Now, bearing in mind, I've never met them, and I shouted out, "Hello, Lee," to Lee Kerslake, the drummer. He came over and joined my table. We ended up getting a cab back to my house and drinking all night. and that's after he'd been in Blizzard of Oz.
Lovely story.
Oh
I
my
remember that,
God.
John. Yeah.
How cool is that?
Somebody, sitting around my house, unbelievable.
Wow.
Yeah, he was. You have to admit, he was a great drummer.
Yeah.
He was a good,
100% great drummer. I don't think he gets enough attention like he should. But he was the stuff that even on the Blizzard of Oz stuff, he sounds great. The Heap stuff, he sounds phenomenal.
I think that's because he was around at a time when there were lots of great drummers around who kind of stole the limelight a little bit.
Even Toe Fat. Have you guys ever heard the band Toe Fat?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And lots of American band. Foghat. I quite like Foghat from the 70s, another American band. Also, you think of the guitarists that he's worked with, apart from Iommi. I mean, some of the guitarists he's had in his Ozzy bands. I mean, people like Zakk Wylde. Zakk Wylde's going to be devastated because he was really close with Ozzy, wasn't he? I mean, he actually played with him
for years, just years.
Yeah. Oh, that's a shame.
Well, yeah.
Well,
I just don't even know what to think.
Yeah, bless Ozzy.
Yeah.
Again, that's another reason why we're sitting here, because of somebody like Ozzy.
Indeed, it is.
Yep.
Yeah.
So what how did you guys come together? How did this all start?
Chris?
How did it all start?
I'll let Chris start, and then I'll take over, and then Dave will come in.
That's the way I reckon it, yeah. Lawrence and I started it off in the beginning. I went to school with Lawrence, and we was in the same class, but I'm not really in the same cliquey group of friends. So I didn't know he played guitar at all. But about 8 years after that, I was looking to put a band together, just me to start with. And one of my neighbours, I happened to ask him whether he knew of anybody around. And funnily enough, he happened to work with Lawrence in the day job. And so he got Lawrence around. And that was the start of it, really. And Lawrence, we just set up in my living room at home. And he opened with this lovely lick to a song called Illusion. It just blew me away. I took it straight, added a few chords behind it, and the song was almost sewn up in about 5 minutes. It's quite good. So that's how Lawrence and I come together. And we continued that way for some months, putting a few more songs together, and started thinking about what next, and thought the drummer would be a good idea, and put an ad in the UK mag called the Sounds magazine. It was Sounds, wasn't it, John?
It was Sounds indeed, yes. So there I am in my shop. I should have been working, but I'm really out the back reading my music papers.
Yeah.
And the ads for section was a drummer wanted. Well, I've been in bands before, so I thought, well, let's try this one out, because it's a local band, localish, should I say, localish. And so I rang them up, and they invited me around to their house to have a listen. And I didn't know what to expect. I thought it'd be a drum kit setup or a hallway or something. So I turned up, invited me for a cup of tea upstairs, and there's two guitarists playing. But there they are playing again that song called Illusion. Mm-hmm. And I was so hooked by it, I was sitting on their sofa, tapping my legs to that song. And I thought, yeah, I can really dig this. So then I got the gig, and we started rehearsing. But
once that happened, you heard these two guys just playing. You just knew that there was something.
There was something there. This song, as I say, this song called Illusion really hooked me straight away. I thought, there's something here. I've got to have some of this. And
when you know. It's like me hearing the Beatles. I knew that. Yeah. I didn't know who they were, but I knew there was something there. Same kind of thing. Yeah. 100%.
So we went to rehearsals, and we had a few rehearsals, and then Chris, bless his heart, didn't have the power in his voice, because Chris was the singer. Yeah, and we suggested getting in, excuse the pun, a proper singer. And Dave.
We're still looking.
And there he is, ladies and gentlemen. He's here too. Yeah.
Remember that first session with you, Dave, down the studio?
Yeah. I mean, I knew, similar to Chris. It's all written in the book there, Grant. So right. I mean, I knew Lawrence from when we were kids, teenagers working in London, and I bumped into him in the most inauspicious of circumstances, which you can read about in the book. He said he was in a band, and we met up down my local pub that about several days later, and we just got chatting. I didn't know he was in a band. I said, what are you up to then? And he said, well, I'm in a band. I said, oh, wow. So I remembered vaguely that he liked Hendrix and Clapton, and he was like a blues influenced guitarist. He said, yeah, I'm in a band. We need a singer. So I said, well, I can sing a bit. And he said, well,
a little bit.
Come along for an audition. And I'd been in a band before that, but we did a couple of cover versions, but nothing really became of it. A band called Dreadnought, and so he said, come down for an audition. So I met up with the guys, and I had a demo tape which Chris had given me at a subsequent meeting with himself and Lawrence, and he said, here's the songs, have a listen to them. There was only half a dozen songs on a demo tape at the time, all good stuff, I might add, very blues based. And so I quickly learnt the lyrics and came down for an audition. Didn't expect to get the gig at all. I mean, but with the thing to it was, like John said, once you heard Lawrence play close up like that, you realise what a talent he's got and still has got. And I thought, wow, this is a proper band. I mean, they're not going to want me. But I was quite surprised when they said, well, do you want to give it a shot then? So we carried on rehearsing, and we started getting some new stuff together, and the new stuff we put together was really good. We had some proper good tunes, but that we played right up until the last gig. There were songs that we wrote together when we first started making music together that we still played, and and that was it really. I mean, we were together for 6-7 years, and it's fairly well documented in the book. And the book came about because I just felt it needed recording somewhere after we lost Eric, our bass guitarist.
There you go. The Ghosts of April.
Yeah.
We'll have to check that out. We'll talk more about it, where you can get it and all that. Anyway, sorry, Dave. Just throwing that in there.
Yeah. So, we fortuitously came across our first gig supporting a band that were friends of ours, or we didn't really know at the time. I mean, I knew the guy who was the singer in this band, and I bumped into him, and again, we're very pub-based, obviously. We have a lot of our history revolves around the use of pubs. I bumped into this guy, and I knew he was in a band, and he said, we're looking for a support band. Do you fancy it? So I contacted the rest of the lads, and I said, look, there's a chance for us to do our first gig. And it was at a pub called the Cottage of Content in South London. And and once you've, similarly to listening to music, once you've been in a band and stood on the stage and felt that raw energy, it really is addictive, So
it's funny how it snowballs as well, because you first of all, you're support bands, and then you progress to being the main bands, but you're playing to half empty audiences, and then it snowballs and you're now playing to sold out pubs. And sold out pubs, you start hitting festivals, and it starts getting bigger and bigger.
Yes, wonderful, exciting.
Well, John mentioned Uriah Heep earlier, Grant, and we incredibly we ended up on the same bill as them at a big festival at was it Mildenhall, John? Wasn't it? Was it Mildenhall?
Yeah.
Rory Gallagher, Uriah Heep, and
cool, nice.
Yeah, I mean we were one of the kind of mid-afternoon bands, but to be on the same bill in a big biker festival was great. I mean, we thoroughly enjoyed that. That was like, wow, that was a real pinch me moment for all of us, I think.
Yeah, it was. Absolutely,
so when you got together, that was roughly what year?
84.
84. So that you're still like at the tail end of the new wave of British heavy metal type of period, though.
Yeah.
I can hear a lot of that when I listen to you guys. I hear you. It's not like real. This isn't like real commercial. It's kind of hard to pinpoint, because when I hear it, I hear a lot of that new wave of British heavy metal. There's beautiful, great melody. Every track is catchy. So when I think catchiness, I always think like a Night Range or something, but it's not quite like that. This is not quite as polished as that. This is more, you guys, more of a raw feel, but your vocals are very captivating, and everybody can play really well, really tight. The guitar, what was the track that I was just listening to today? Again, I thought the guitars were just going to like take off the track. Oh, Grant, what was it?
Survivor,
because that's like 7 minutes long. I thought, holy shit, this is just going to take off. But there's a lot of excitement. I feel. Did you guys record when you recorded this stuff? Did you record this like live in the studio because it has that feel to it?
Yeah, we did.
was like-
Absolutely.
Okay.
It was all live in the studio, wasn't
All
it? Yeah.
live. Okay. Well, that's what's really great about it too. But so I mean, I hear like I think Pete Pardo even talked about it because I did watch his review. He said, you know, if you like, what did he meant? Demon, and he mentioned Def Leppard, and I don't think I could have said it any better. It's very similar to like that first Def Leppard album, very similar along the lines of that. So I can't, what he said in his review, I'll put the link down below. I can't say it any better than Pete did it. But it's like that. So if you like that kind of stuff, I think everybody out here would probably love to hear this CD for one.
Funny because we've all got different influences for coming together. It's strange how we have all different influences.
Right. Well, what were
Not
your
one of us-
influence, John? What was your influence originally when you started to play?
I actually liked a band called The Faces.
Yeah.
I was a 70s child. So Rod Stewart and The Faces. I like Curve there. But then also what hit me was Iron Butterfly.
Yeah.
We did.
I mean, there's an odd mix, but I loved all three bands.
Yeah.
And of
You know,
course,
Iron Butterfly is interesting because they had different eras, so to speak. You know, because there was the original band, and then people quit, and then they basically rebuilt the band. Like on the second album, then we've got
That's right, become famous on it. Yeah,
they've become famous on it. But
that's right.
Iron Butterfly is an interesting. That's pretty cool. So, but as a vocalist, though, Dave, what were your influences? Because I'm sure you had some.
Well, I think you know, referring to the book again, you know, I was influenced by the look of Robert Plant. I mean, I think most teenage boys into rock and metal can't deny the influence that old Percy Plant had on them. But you know, I later graduated and started listening to guys. I love to hear somebody singing, you know, and then I discovered bands like Free, Paul Rodgers. You know, I can't think when I listen to the Fire and Water and Heartbreaker albums, I think that there's no one sounds better than Paul Rodgers does on that Heartbreaker album. To me, you know, like Wish Him Well and you know, Seven Angels and all the lovely tracks come together in the morning. But I found Paul Rodgers, he was exciting because I saw him in Bad Company too. But with Free, he was just given like a free run. I got the impression somebody just said, "Look, here's a mic, just go and sing. Don't worry about what you sound like." And it just sounds so.
It doesn't sound forced. It's just like it just
natural.
comes out of him.
Like we're talking about the old stuff. I mean, like Nat King Cole, Frank Sinatra. You know, they're the kind of crooners from the part.
I'm a big fan of Lou Gramm too, and he loved Paul Rodgers.
Yeah.
But Lou Gramm, though, I saw him when I was really another singer just comes out effortlessly, if I can say it, effortlessly.
Yeah.
But it was,
words are hard sometimes.
There was another guy. There was a guitarist. I don't know if you heard of him, Grant. A guy called Robin Trower, and he was again influenced by. He was in Procol Harum, of course, back in the day, and then he formed his own band. It was heavily influenced. He had the same sound as Hendrix, essentially. But there was a guy who used to sing in a Robin Trower band called James Dewar. He played bass as well. And if you've heard Bridge of Sighs, I mean, again, another wonderful Scottish fella, died early. I think he was a bit of a drug addict and liked to drink or 10. And, you know, he was taken from us at an early age. But I still listen to those Robin Trower albums, again, from the first three albums. And I listened to James Dewar's voice. And, you know, it's at the point where I don't want to sound too morbid on a day that's already, you know, reeling with sadness. But
it seems like
where I keep getting stuff coming through like you should write a will. What tunes do you want to play when you die? You know, and I keep coming back to this Robin Trower song called "In This Place." You know, and James Dewar just sounds like it's you can't there's little or no effect on it. It's just a beautiful, beautiful sound. And I listen to that, and it makes me think, well, why do I bother? Because I'm never going to top that.
Yeah, it's incredible.
But then in later days, you know, I liked Diamond Head. I thought Sean Harris was great in Diamond Head, and And
a lot of people say, sorry, Dave, a lot of people say that we sound like Diamond Head, and I think they're picking up on your
Could be.
Yeah. So,
Well, they did recently. They've been putting out box sets, like for Earth Below, I think.
Yeah.
And they're
Beautiful
like
album.
5 CD box set. One's like a
Yeah.
DVD of the Robin Trower stuff.
Yeah.
And they did one CD that they've remixed it. Okay. Which is awesome because the songs they've extended, they let the songs extend out instead of, cutting it short like at 3 minutes and 50 seconds. The track might go on to 5 minutes. So you get to hear them even play longer.
Yeah.
Well, I saw Robin Trower actually played in London last summer, and I went to see him. And he's in his 80s now, and he kind of shambles on stage, and he puts his great big white strat on, and he looks like he's going to fall over with the bloody thing, because because he's kind of a bit hunched, but very minimal contact with the audience between songs. He just says thank you, and this one's called, and he lets the guitar do the talking. It's still a free piece. He's obviously got a new bassist stroke singer. But I think it's a broad spectrum, like John was saying. I mean, there's so many influences you can draw from different areas, different genres. And I still listen to new bands, lots of new bands, and I still listen to the old stuff. I think, like we were saying earlier, once it gets you, once it hooks you in, man, you can't. Fortunately,
you can't let go. It's in.
It's that Stockholm syndrome, where you fall in love with your captive, your captor.
So I'm going to ask Chris the same question. Let me look at how time it is. Oh, we're just going right along. Chris, what were your influences when you were growing up, or what was captivating? What guitar players did you like?
What I really like is really filthy sounding guitars. It's like frigid pink,
Oh, frigid pink.
I love that sort of sound. And I've really only got a decent sound in the last 3 years. I've had this horrible racket. People.
Frigid pink with twink in it?
Eh?
Twink. You know who Twink is, right?
Pink Fairies.
Oh, I'm thinking Pink Fairies. Damn it, Grant, you idiot. I keep getting Frigid Pink and, Pink Fairies confused.
Yeah.
What do you like, Pink Fairies with Twink in it?
I'm not familiar with too much Pink Fairies.
How about FS Sorrow, Pretty Things?
No.
What a great record.
I'm a pretty narrow. I've not had a great deal of experience really. I tend to latch onto one thing or another.
Yeah, see, you get me going, boys. I'm just going to go on a tangent. Go ahead, Chris. Go ahead.
Yeah. No, it was that dirty sound of Frigid Pink that really blew my mind. That it was so dirty, so messy, overloaded guitars and distortion. I just love that. And then along came Sabbath, of course, and they took me to the next level. Because I was always interested in the fascinating side of supernatural stuff, and to have dirty, filthy guitars, evil, meaningful lyrics, and it just took me to another level. Black Sabbath, like it did many others as well. I suppose there was another English band, the Groundhogs. You familiar with them?
I've been on shows where people have brought them up. I have not personally heard the Groundhogs, but I've heard a lot of people like on different shows bring them up and speak very highly of the Groundhogs.
They're a great band.
At one time, they were on the same sort of level as Black Sabbath and Led Zeppelin in the early days, weren't they, Dave? They're pretty close.
The first 2 or 3 albums, Thank Christ for the Bomb and Cherry Red. I mean, it's just classic English metal. Blues, rock metal. They were fantastic.
Yeah, they never really took off over here. They're very unknown,
Yeah. Well, they were.
Sorry to give you a story, but one of my stories from April 16th was we were supporting the Groundhogs on one occasion.
Okay.
And I went in to see the drummer warming up, and I went up to him and said, "Wow, I can't compete with you." Bless him. And he just said, "Look, you're here for the good time. You're here just to enjoy the show. Enjoy yourself." And he even helped me put my drum kit on the stage to play.
He was a great guy, wasn't he, that fella?
Yeah, brilliant.
Wow.
So it makes you feel at ease, no competition, enjoy yourself, enjoy your music, enjoy your evening.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Back in those days, it's more happy-go-lucky, we're all in it together.
Yeah.
Well, that's the way it should be in music. That's the way I think it really should be.
That's where I kind of look at, doing like a YouTube show or any of these. I figure I'm in it just to turn people on to stuff. I'm in it to people can go out, check this out. Check out Dave's book. Check out this band and give them some love because you fit right in with what we talk about. So that's the whole thing, just talking music with you guys. That's all it's about. I really don't have much of an agenda, but we do need to pinpoint a couple of things down. We got what? Well, we got 20 minutes. The April 16th, this CD, how do people find this? Where can they get this? Huh?
Discogs mainly, people get it through. They can get electric downloads almost anywhere.
All right. I always try to promote physical media on my channel.
Discogs is the main outlet, or they can email me directly.
Okay. Well, I can put your if that's what you want to do, we can put your email down below.
Certainly, yeah. Please.
Yeah, I could do that. So what was I going to ask? So anyway, check it out. Like I said, this is just like new wave of British heavy metal. It's got a lot of pop elements to some degree. I mean, as far as melody, there is melodies on here, and you have Dave's such a fine vocalist, ladies and gentlemen. He's not screaming. He is actually singing. So I can see all those influences that you mentioned all come through on this.
That's kind words, Grant. I appreciate that. I really do.
It's phenomenal. And I know Pete Pardo liked it quite a bit. And people watching this, go out and give these guys go pick this seat up, go download it, give them some love. I've played you guys on the shows before. Like I do listening parties on Sundays.
Yeah.
I've played several tracks from this, and people have responded, and they went, "Who is this?"
Yeah.
And everybody has responded, and I tried to build you guys up. I'm so glad Dave reached out. Anyway, go ahead.
You know John O'Moorcroft, do you?
Who?
He's a bloke called John O'Moorcroft. John O'Moorcroft, and he was. I think he was on one of your listening parties you had, and he contacted me last week.
Oh, maybe.
About getting.
I don't know. He might have a different name on there. I don't know.
Yeah. Anyway, you put one fella our way at least. It was great, and probably more. Awesome.
Well, we'll see what we can do with this. So anyway, let's talk a little bit more about Dave's book. Dave, for one, if people want it, this book is, if you want to know the ups, the downs, the ins and outs of music industry, what it's like to be in a band, what it's like, it's not all what you think it is.
Yeah.
Like, where can they pick up your book?
It's available on Amazon, Grant.
Okay.
It's
back in a minute.
That's fine. You're good.
You can pick it up on Amazon, or if somebody would like a copy of it, just email Chris and we can get one to you.
Okay.
It just came on the back really of when COVID started. Our old bass guitarist Eric, there he is, bottom left in the white shirt.
Okay.
That's Eric.
If I can get my fingers to work.
Yeah, that's Eric, and he's with one of the girls, Tanya, who used to come see us. She's lovely too. We're still in contact with her. She's brilliant. Lemmy actually autographed her backside. Lemmy came to see us at something we did for British television, and Lemmy turned up, and Tanya asked for his autograph. So he mentioned something about, I'll do it on your backside. So she pulled her jeans down and he wrote it.
Lemmy knew what he was doing.
Yeah. So, but yeah, Eric, our bass guitarist, who you just pointed out there, Grant, he sadly passed. He was one of the first casualties in London when COVID broke out, and he was only 55, and he was a lovely, lovely guy. And we were kind of on the verge of, we think of maybe, John, would you agree, maybe getting back together and possibly.
Indeed, yeah.
It was in the air. It was in the air. I mean, we'd been broken up for 30 years. But yeah, it was kind of in the air that we might get back together again and do something. We weren't quite sure.
Then that happened,
but then of course Eric passed away, and we thought, well, that's it. That's put pay to that out of respect for Eric. But so I thought about putting something like a little eulogy or something on Facebook or on social media about how much we were all a band of brothers and what we went through together. And I found myself once I started writing something, it just, oh, blimey, what about the time we did this? And before I knew it, I had 5,000 words. And my wife said to me, why don't you write a book? I thought, no, I can't, it's not enough. And then I thought, hang on a minute, I've cherry picked the best bits and a lot of the worst bits just to kind of get that balance, which you need, I think, with everything. And I kind of tried to make the negatives seem a bit more humorous, almost a bit Spinal Tap-ish, just without sounding too, oh, woe is me or woe is us type thing. So I had lots of communication with John and Chris and Lawrence, his other half Della. I just kind of started jotting stuff. I had a bit of a storyboard going on, trying to get everything in chronological order, which was helped enormously by John, because John kept a list of all, like a list.
Every gig you did, yeah.
Of all the gigs we'd done, and
cool.
And it was available on our WhatsApp on our app sock on Facebook. So it was great. I could make that connection because John had put this stuff in order, and some of the gigs we'd done, as we've often talked about, I don't even remember.
Yeah.
So
you play a lot of gigs, okay? Well,
Yeah.
I can remember. Well, can I remember a lot of them? No, I remember just certain things that happen.
Yeah, but it's
because
great
they all blend together.
Yeah, but it's great when somebody says, "Oh, do you remember when this happened?" And you go, "No, I don't." And then suddenly the penny drops, and you think, "Oh God, yeah, we did." Yeah, that girl who was, do you remember that the fight outside, and the car that was on fire or something like that? I managed to just get it all down, and my missus proofread it for me, and I self-published. And so it's available on Amazon, Grant.
All right. Well, I'll put the link down below for everyone so you can go out and purchase your copy, ladies and gentlemen. But yeah, I had gigs like one of the gigs we played. We weren't a very big band, but we did have one big gig in Mansfield, Ohio, where we opened for. There's a band called Rosie that were kind of like an offshoot of the Gods, not the other Gods, but the U.S. Gods, who were a rock and roll machine. And then Mark Farner from Grand Funk.
Oh yeah,
we opened for. There's another band that's a local band, Willie Phoenix. He's pretty popular. He's been around for years. And then finally was Donnie Iris and the Cruisers, but it was like one of those outdoor kind of festival things.
Yeah.
It was kind of cool, but that's, things like that. And then I remember women getting into fights and throwing beer bottles when we used to play this biker bar. I'm sure you guys have had the same kind of shit.
Snap.
2 women got into it and were flinging beer bottles at each other.
Right.
And there used to be like Harley motorcycles parked out front. I know you guys have played gigs like that.
Yeah. There's actually, you touch on that, Grant. There's a few stories like that in the book. Similar kind of thing. We played for the Hells Angels, the All England.
But the British Hells Angels is different than the U.S. Yeah. Mick Jagger learned that lesson.
Yeah. That's right.
I think, maybe the English Hells Angels were a bit politer. I don't know.
I think that's what they were. I think so.
Excuse me, can I just kick your teeth in?
They're very polite.
Yeah. Yeah, we played a couple of Angels gigs, and there was a bit of a fracas at one of our gigs where the Angels were in attendance. So but that's what we were talking about earlier. It's all part of growing up. You join a band, you want that sort of stuff kicking off because it's stuff you can talk about later on in life and say, "Do you remember when we did this?" Cool.
I kept thinking when I was playing, I was going, God, I hope a beer bottle isn't my guitar. That would upset me. That's what I was thinking. I'm not worried about anybody else.
Yeah.
I don't want to ding from a beer bottle.
When we turned up, when we turned up at that big Hells Angels gig in the South Coast, they had snipers in turrets, didn't they? Did you see those boys?
Yeah.
Snipers in case there's any local bad groups turned up. It's quite alarming, really.
Yeah,
I tell you what, though, is all the regular promoters never want to part with any money at all, but
no. Probably not.
The Angels, absolutely, straight away. They pay 5 times as much as anybody else, and you get it straight away, no questions.
Cash up front, yeah.
Yeah. Fine.
Wow, that's top. That's wonderful. Yeah, I'd play that gig too if I knew I was getting paid up front and they paid well.
But you had to know you didn't quibble. You didn't say, "Well, hang on, mate, where's the rest of it?"
No.
You just kind of took what they gave you.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
It was very good money, very, very prompt.
Well, I didn't really. What time? Okay, I'm checking my time. I do want to touch on this real quick because I'm fascinated by how these records come together. So you did the EP, correct? And that came out what year again? Just to remind me.
You say this EP? What EP?
Well, see, I keep calling it an EP. Those demos.
Sleepwalking came out first, didn't it? The album.
The album came out first. Give me the
Cherry Jam.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. So were those released? Those came out when this came out, correct?
No, Cherry Jam came out back in.
Explain to me how this all came about.
It was 87, wasn't it? Cherry Jam.
Yeah, Cherry Jam. That's 87, and that came out. Was that released first?
That was the first thing. Yeah. Then we done another session to record the Sleepwalking album. We're trying to improve some of the tracks, and we had some additional tracks. So we went into another studio and recorded the tracks for Sleepwalking.
Okay.
And then this, which obviously many years later, took the best of some of the tracks were duplicated, so we took the best of the best one of the two.
Yeah, because I think everything that's on here is just, it flows very well. I've never heard the original. So did you follow basically the same sequencing, or did you resequence the tracks for flow opposed?
Lawrence, our lead guitarist, sequenced the flow. He thought it sounded great, and I agreed.
Yeah, I think it's phenomenal. Survivor coming in next to the last track, because that track just tears your face off. I swear to God. But Away, Let It Roll, Illusion, like you said, like what John said when he first heard it. Connected.
Yeah.
I mean, the whole thing. She's Mean leads it off. Ladies and gentlemen, do yourself a favor. Go to Discogs, look up April 16th. Or go, is it like on Bandcamp too? Or you said you can download it.
You can get it on Bandcamp. You can get it to Spotify. I think most of the big normal ones.
Okay.
You can get it to.
Go out and check it out, ladies and gentlemen. Do yourself a favor.
Or email me direct.
Email him direct. The link is down. His email address is, if you're cool with that, I'll put it down below.
Yeah.
So do that.
Come and join our Facebook page.
And go enjoy their Facebook page. I'll put the link. I'll put all the links there. If you have any link, gentlemen, if you have any links you want me to put out there down below, I will. I'm here for you.
We appreciate it.
We've got two presences on Facebook. One's our April 16th page, which I really want to close down because 90% of the traffic searches for April 16th and it goes through to this page. And later, where all of our fans and friends go to, we've got a site called the April 16th Appreciation Society. And that's where all of our news and information goes on to. But I don't want to crash the April 16th page because lots of radio stations use that as a communication to me. But I see the amount of people on Facebook that find April 16th page never come onto the main page, so we lose a chance of spreading the word. It's a shame, really. So
I don't know. Both, you got to keep them both.
When I looked you up, I didn't have any problem finding it.
You didn't, no? But the April 16th Appreciation Society.
Yeah, I can't remember. I think, that came right up.
Yeah.
Probably because that's probably more popular, I'm assuming, in the way Facebook's set up. Probably that's, I'm sure that's how it works.
Yeah.
It's all about algorithms and everything, more than I know. Yeah. Well, before we wrap this dog up, gentlemen, anything else you want to throw out there?
I just want to thank you for your time, Grant. Bless you.
Well, I like just talking music, and you guys, if we could do 4 hours of just talking music, because I'm sure we're only touching a little bit. But you know what, ladies and gentlemen, if you go ahead and buy Dave's book, there's a lot more there. So we don't want to talk about it all here. Go out and check out his book and give Dave some love and buy his book. So
thanks for your interest, Grant. I really appreciate it. It's
I want to thank Chris for reaching out because, geez, this is right up my alley. This has been just a hoot talking to you, gentlemen.
Well, another thing is just a little caveat to that. Chris and John and I and Lawrence, we're writing again. We've got some new material. It's not really like the stuff that we did initially. It's not really like it's not blues based. It's more, it's heavier, and it's I call it space doom.
Space doom.
Space doom. Yeah, it's got a spacey, ethereal feel to it, but it's underpinned by some growling Chris Harris riffing. So it's also modern.
Is it space kind of like those first two UFO albums or Hawkwind? How would you classify it? I mean, even more.
Well, our new sound.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think you probably recognise it from. I mean, my vocal style is obviously, vocalists find it difficult to cover up how they've always sounded. I think.
Right.
I think the main thing is we've down-tuned the guitars. We've kind of we've come kicking and screaming into the modern age, and we've down-tuned the guitars to give us an even dirtier, heavy feel, which makes Chris very happy indeed. I know. And
he looks happy. I'll say that.
We're trying this concept of rather having death grunts and gutter crawls, whatever they're called. We're trying it.
Cookie Monster vocals.
Cookie Monster.
That's what I've heard them called. I'm me personally, gentlemen.
Come on, man. I mean, it's been. I think it destroys a lot, because at the end of the day, it just unifies all these bands, because I can't actually discern. The guy from Meshuggah, for example, to the guy from Cannibal Corpse. Although there are one or two bands out there that do it slightly differently, like I Hate God and Crowbar, bands like that. They've got the Southern doom metal stuff going on. But we've down-tuned the guitars, and we've kind of let it breathe a bit more, because it's less rushed and it's a bit more thought about, and the guitar has got even more of a spacey feel than it had before. So we think we've kind of created almost a unique sound at the moment. So we've got a couple of songs that are in work in progress. One of them's actually on YouTube. You can find it on there. It's called The Maze.
I can put the link to that on there too.
It's just a 2 minute like a teaser of what we're up to. The song isn't finished. Well, the song's probably Chris, about 80% complete.
Yeah, thereabouts.
Well, you guys are still going by April 16th. I didn't know if is this considered a different project because you don't have Eric around. Or are you still plugging away April 16th?
Yeah. Okay. And it's all being recorded remotely. I mean, we haven't met each other
They haven't seen each other for 30 years, ladies and gentlemen. They just get on and.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
John and I met up when the book was first released. We hadn't seen each other for 28 years, and they ended up throwing us out the pub because they couldn't get rid of us. John, that was right, wasn't it? They had to kick us out.
Like no time passed at all.
Will you please go home, gentlemen?
Go home, you two. Jeez, we got to close. Well, it's like the past 3 Styx albums, The Mission and The Crown, I think a lot of these bands are recording remotely. So yeah. I'm just curious, before we do, I'm curious, how does that come about? Does Chris come up with the riff? Do you guys you collaborate, or someone come up with the genesis? And then how do you how do you do that?
Chris?
Well, the first one we've done, Dave said, look, there's a song on that CD called Rattlesnake. He quite like the chord sequences, but he said he wanted it a lot slower and suggested tune it down to B. And that's where we began on that one. And it sounded absolutely awesome. Nothing like Rattlesnake, which doesn't sound bad. It's really awesome, really powerful. So that started with the down tuning idea linked to one of the older songs. But I think maybe a riff we start with a good riff and try and expand from there. Mm-hmm. That's the way it generally works. Wouldn't you agree, boys?
Yeah, and there's an app called Audacity. You've probably heard of, Grant.
I've heard of Audacity, but so.
You just you just plug your computer into either your amp or your microphone, and it allows you to record. It gives you different settings, and then it goes onto a file, and you can send that to someone else who can put their bit on.
So you're just file sharing, and then someone drops their guitar or bass on it, and then you just next guy. So you're probably dropping your stuff on last, right?
Yeah. I mean, we've got some ideas kicking around, but you see, another situation is we've all kind of, we're all kind of doing our own thing at the moment. I know John still works full time, and Lawrence is a bit difficult to get hold of because he's living his life the same as Chris and I are. So there's no rush, there's no agenda, no itinerary.
Those damn lead guitar players, you just don't know. They're just out doing what they do.
Nightmare. Not quite as bad as bassists.
And John's just trying to keep time. That's all he's trying to do. He's trying.
Yes.
Well, I think a lot of bands are probably doing that now. I mean, the technology's here. Why don't you can utilize it. As long as you have decent recording, good microphone, and you can get a decent sound.
And it's so much cheaper than studio time.
Yeah, studios are, we know how those are going. There aren't any,
Yeah.
Going by the wayside.
Yeah, and you can understand why. So it gives you more time. You can be more experimental. You're not, when you're not held, you haven't got a time gun held to your head. You can just crack on at your leisure. And if you don't feel like, we'll finish it tomorrow. No,
so
man, you've only got 2 hours in the studio booked,
Is there an ETA for this? Is there a goal to get something together and put out, or you just kind of you guys kind of putting this record together as you feel? I mean, is there a goal?
No, not really.
Keep your eye out on the Facebook site. Just keep your eyes peeled for when it's time to come out.
Yeah,
you'll see the preview of one of the songs on there, Grant, on the Facebook site as well.
Okay, cool, awesome.
Yeah,
ladies and gentlemen, April 16th, back in the saddle, so to speak.
Cheers,
working
Grant.
on new music.
Thanks, buddy. Been good to see you.
Dave Russell. I want to thank Dave. I want to thank Chris. I want to thank John. Gentlemen, it's been fun.
Thank you very much.
If you get that record out, we should come back and talk about it.
Oh, for sure.
Chris knows how to get a hold of me.
Yeah.
All right, boys.
Thank you so much for your time. Thank you.
Hey, it was fun. I mean, we could have just talked. We could have just talked bands for hours.
Oh yeah, big time. That's music for you.
It's like, I always tell people, like young people go, gosh, Grant, the band, because I go on these shows. I said, I saw Foreigner when I was a kid, and people were just going, Foreigner, the real Foreigner, know.
Yeah.
And they're going, man. And I said, I know. I saw the good bands.
Yeah. It's all out there, man. And there's still.
Well, if you guys put out a record, do you think you guys will start playing out? Are you guys playing out at all? You don't see each other, so maybe not.
No.
Would you ever go out and play again?
It's unlikely, I think. I think I know John and I are ready to strap on the old boots and get back on that horse. But I think it'd have to be something that would be ultimately worthwhile, rather than I think it might be a problem getting Lawrence and Chris out there. I
don't think it would be a problem. Certainly, Lawrence has become a complete recluse. He gets the postman comes up the drive, he breaks into a sweat.
Well,
I wouldn't mind, but I like things to go off well. And I remember all those headachy days. When you put weeks into promo, and you're trying to get it all right, and it's very taxing indeed. When it goes right, it's fantastic, but it can go wrong.
You never know. You never know. All right, boys, well, let's wrap this dog up. I want to thank the band. April 16th, everybody. Follow the links below. Give them some love. Pick up Dave Russell's book. It's all here. So if you like what you heard, there's a lot more right here. This anybody in a band, this is everything you need to know what to do and what to don't. All right, boys. Chris, thanks for reaching out. We will see you guys. All right. Have a good one. I'm going to try to get this up pronto because this is great. And I don't have to really do anything. So I'll get this up. I'll let Chris know when it's up. And then you can post a link on Facebook or, whatever. I'll send you the link.
Yeah.
Promo. Push it up there. Let's get this out there.
Yeah.
All right, gentlemen. Thanks for doing it.
Cheers, buddy.
Thanks a lot.
See you, everybody. Thanks.
Take care now. See ya. Bye.